Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Legendary Series brought to you by Newegg.com. Our grand finals is Chakki versus Pinpingho from Taiwan. This one's going to be really cool just because it's a clash of a couple different forces here. We have an invite player versus a qualified player. We have an East versus West. And we have a player that seems to be favoring more of a control-y, slow setup style versus someone who's much more aggressive.
Yeah, Chakki, you can say he's a West player, but he definitely has his own unique playstyle as well.
Yeah, it's true. He likes being hyper-aggressive. Even his hunter has a noticeable difference than most other hunters, where he likes to play abusive sergeants, really aggressive stuff overall. And Pinpingho doesn't even bring a hunter. I mean, what's that all about?
Oh, that might hurt Chakki because, like I said, Chakki's Zoo seemed a little bit tech, and his Shaman seemed a little bit tech against Hunter. We'll see how it works. Chakki's, I like Chakki's Shaman better than Ping Shaman, but we'll see that Ping Shaman is matching up against Hunter, and I think it's going to have a hard time. It has a Yeti and a Shade, which aren't really that good against Hunter, a little too slow. Chakki's Shaman against Warlock, that's what he wanted. And Chakki's Warlock against Druid is also what he wanted. So, actually, these are three great matchups for Chakki.
Okay. Well, if Chakki can get those lined up perfectly, then we'll have it. But it seems like Ping series have been pretty tight all day. So they've been like razor thin, where like he's winning barely
By one damage.
or losing barely.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So if there's anything I've learned, it could be really tight. We're gonna start things off with Shaman versus Handlock. So Ping will have to get off to a good start because he knows he just played this matchup on the opposite side.
Yeah.
He needs to be very cautious about what Shaman can do.
And Chakki has the Bloodlust, which may surprise him.
That's right. And he's got the Echoing Oozes. We haven't seen too much of the deck, though. It wouldn't surprise me to see Chakki also bust out, Violet Teacher or other ways to generate small tokens to synergize with Bloodlust.
Yeah, we saw, what, Ooze and not much else.
Sludge Belcher, which leaves a token. That's about it, really. He plays like a Nixia, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Draxus is at its best against Shaman, I believe. It's really good against Shaman. I remember a game where Admirable was at 25 HP, just put the Draxus on right on turn 9, and he won against Shaman.
You really think it's at its best against Shaman? I really think it's at its best against Priest.
Yeah, Priest can't really punish you. And Paladin either, but it's pretty good against Shaman.
Paladin is also very reasonable. Well, Mortal Coil able to pick off, and that's where I guess the Searing Totem does end up stinking a little bit. There is a time where you can play Zombie Chow, and it is the very beginning, although I don't think it's something you mulligan for at this matchup at all.
Yeah, I don't think you ever want. I guess
no. Well, I mean, it was actually the exact cards that Pinpingho needed to actually push through damage to kill him one game, but it's a fringe scenario. Generally speaking, it's not that great.
It was a huge risk he played it, but he did. Okay, so yeah, no Feral Spirits because he wants to do double 5 drop here.
It makes sense, too, because you can use Feral Spirits as a post-AoE recovery option, as opposed to pressure and presence on the board.
Azure Drake's super bad against Warlock because of Soulfire, but if you're going to play it, this is one of the better times to play it. He didn't have the Mountain Giant. Okay. He's Argusing.
Wow, he's being really aggressive. And it makes sense, too, so that way it doesn't just easily get cleared.
Yeah, saving the coin, too, for those crucial, Earth Shock get-throughs for the exact lethal.
Well, Ping immediately hovering over his Hellfire. He can clear the board with Mortal Coil, and he's going to go back up to what looks like to be 18 health. Usually one of the weaknesses of Zombie Chow against Handlock is that you can kill off something. You can play Molten Giant and kill off the Zombie Chow and bounce back up, but in this case, he doesn't really have it. So. Zombie Chow did a reasonable amount of work, though.
Like I said, he's like, is my Azure Drake going to get Soulfired? Do I care if it gets Soulfired now? Hellfire just went down, but I don't think Feral Spirits is that good here.
If you coin Fire Elemental, it seems likely that your opponent might have Siphon Soul and you're just back where you started, right?
Yeah, but at least he killed something.
I suppose so. denied his opponent ability to respond and take initiative with an Iron Beak Owl.
He has an awkward next turn, though. 6 mana.
Yeah, it could be a little awkward.
Oh, looks like he might get Air Shock target.
Yeah, you don't think he's going to take care of... I feel
Oh,
like
yeah, the Siphon.
this is the biggest threat often in...
Yeah, perfect time.
stats-wise.
You don't... Perfect time to Siphon. You have the mana.
You have the mana, you're not under pressure.
Okay.
Well, your opponent used Hellfire. Do you feel confident in... Well, actually, I feel like there's no bad sides to Draking here, actually.
Yeah, there's not much payoff for the Feral Spirits right here.
Yeah.
Who cares if they're... It has the same power as the Drake.
Yeah, I like Drake.
But he doesn't want to get soul-fired.
Sure. Doesn't want to lose the board at all. I like digging generally, though, for the Doom. Oh, he doesn't have Doom here. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes a lot more sense, setting up a board presence. Because he gets closer to Bloodlust, and he has a way to fight back. Okay, well, it's a good thing for him that he didn't, because there was a Soulfire drawn for Pinpingho.
Technically ahead on board, but... Actually, Flame Tongue's great here.
How do we use this Flame Tongue in, like, positioning-wise?
Probably just on the right of the Belcher.
Okay.
So now we're seeing the Drake come down. I guess he could Earthshock if he wants.
It's around the same effect.
Yeah. Mana inefficient too.
Alright, does make him slightly weak to Shadow Flame, but I think he's still okay, because as long as he has these things like Feral Spirits and whatnot for after an AoE, he'll be happy.
Yeah, still, I don't know, I'd say Chakki's hand is still pretty weak though. He can't really put anything together.
So many possibilities.
So, Pinpingho, what can you do this turn?
Huge power turn with like Mountain, Twilight, Soulfire, but that still leaves a huge creature. But you have the taunt.
So many possibilities.
And yeah, actually, yeah, Chakki would be able to clear with like Rock Bite or Earthshock anyways.
Yeah, it looks pretty ugly. Let's see, is there an opportunity to use something else though? Maybe Owls, Silence.
So many
It's almost hard to pass it up,
Yeah.
facing a giant.
Okay, I like the Owl and the Flame Tongue.
So we play both Owls.
Yeah, just Soulfire. Okay, I like that.
Seems to be the most reasonable line of play here. And of course you do want to snipe that Azure Drake.
Yeah.
The spell power represents too much of a threat. Alright, losing Twilight Drake's okay. In fact, looking at his hands, actually his best discard.
These Owls are actually really threatening since there's no Lightning Storm to clean up.
He's got 2 Rock Buyers, but no Doom Hammers. This is actually quite amusing that there's a lot of damage in him right back.
Yeah, these are like the most threatening Owls I've seen in Handlock.
Can he afford to go fishing for it with his Gnomish Inventor, or does he have to respond immediately to what's on board?
But he can't really respond to the Mountain Giant efficiently anyways though, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
He has to either taunt or... So yeah, Gnomish Feral Spirit's probably the play.
Well, you can reevaluate. Maybe you want to Hex the Giant instead. It is a lot of damage coming back the other way. Plus, it's like you said, if you leave up a Giant, you're always vulnerable to a Faceless follow-up, and then you can't actually deal with it effectively.
Yeah, I think he has Gnomish to look for something to deal with the Giant. It's either Gnomish or like double Feral Spirit Taunt Totem.
Yeah, and then they Shadow Flame your Ancient Watcher.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. And that you can start fighting back on the Owls. So, not quite Lightning Storm, but
Not
Now those owls aren't so tough. Just smack them with the totem. So, according
Oh
to
my
what you were
gosh.
saying,
Yeah, like Argus Faceless. You get Argus Faceless. That'd be
Yeah.
insane.
oh, you're right.
And then he'd have a wall set up for the Draxus.
That is pretty wild. I was gonna ask you if this was like a time where you can go for Jiraxes, but
Yeah,
I
his
I
hand
like
is great
this.
though. Like,
Yeah.
and he probably wants to get that. He probably has the luxury of being able to get that Molten out before he Draxuses. So like Molten, then Earthen Ring up or something, or you get Earthen Ring after Draxus.
There's no real point. I'm trying to think about like positioning here. Does the positioning matter at all? Because if he's going to be taunting up a giant anyways,
Oh,
it's vulnerable to Black Knight.
yeah. Oh, it looks like he's not Argusing. I thought he was gonna Argus and then copy the taunt to get
Oh,
3.
okay.
I guess not.
Gonna Farseer then?
Valuing the Drake or the Defender for after Draxus, maybe.
Yeah, having it on the Infernals is pretty valuable for sure.
Okay.
How much damage can he generate? I guess he's calculating Alakir and
Yeah.
Rockbiter, or maybe Rockbiter, Doomhammer. Seems like he's generally safe out of range though, especially if
Yeah.
he heals himself.
Hard to pass up that 8 damage unless it's a really good reason to.
Yeah. Oh, Alakir.
Almost.
Double Rockbiter. Wow.
Hmm.
Here's a problem though. There's 2 giants out.
Yeah.
And
Well-
if you spend your turn being defensive, you hole up your mana for the next turn as well.
You just can't kill the giants like Alakir or Rockbiter. Still wouldn't even be a clean kill. Yeah, it's just not. It's not clean.
Well, I guess this is a totem turn, right? Oh, you're gonna Alakir now?
Yeah,
Wow.
he can. It's not good. I think you have to.
So you're Alakir Rockbiter to clear.
I think you have to save Alakir one more turn and like double Rockbiter and clear that way. But you can't. It's really messy.
Wow. Messy indeed. But I guess he feels like this is the best way to
Okay.
survive.
Remember, yeah.
Because
For some reason I thought it did 5. Okay, this is kind of clean. Kills 2 giants.
well, emphasis on kind of. He's still going to be taking damage on the backswing of things. Ooh. That's interesting. Okay, so removing that enables an easy trade, and then you can push in for 8 damage, get really close with Jiraxis. I mean, things are looking really good for Ping Ping.
Lotheb's always good.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, you can also start tapping to improve your hand for post Jiraxis as well, because you can't have that life tap anymore. So.
Yeah, and he just saw the Rockbiter go down.
Mm-hmm. Oh my. That's also a good card,
That's fine,
post Jiraxis.
Yeah, Lotheb's great.
And that's going to put Chakki on potentially his last turn here. He does have, like, a Feral Spirit to stall for time, but everything that he has costs so much.
Yeah. Mm,
His only hope is to roll a Taunt Totem
yeah,
to
Feral Spirit
stall for
taunt totem.
time.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear. You could like Rockbiter, kill the Lotheb, Feral Spirit taunt, or I mean Echoing Ooze taunt, and then double Feral Spirit next. No, he's doing it.
I think he feels like there's an easy chance for him to die with just like Hellfire or Soulfire. Like he just needs to be defensive as possible. Alright, but we know he just needs to draw like a Hellfire and he wins. I guess he could tap for it too. Yeah.
Siphon.
Siphon's the safer play. And Chakki is probably not happy to see that, considering how much his opponent's life goes up to. It puts him to 2L. He has Earthshock and Bloodlust, but that's not enough to push through. 2 Earthshocks. So how much damage does he have, actually? He's got 4 plus 9, 13, 16 damage, 5 short.
Yeah, so we'll see the Feral Spirits I get. Actually,
But
yeah, Bloodlust, Feral Spirits.
he might have to Bloodlust to clear, right?
Yeah.
In fact, Bloodlust allows him to kill everything other than Defender, and then Feral Spirits keeps you alive. It seems like that's Chakki's best way to survive, but what can he do to kill his opponent?
Yeah, so I want to say Chakki's deck is a little worse in this matchup than what we just saw Ping Ping against Reynad. So I think Ping Ping's Shaman deck is a little better against Handlock than this one. I think the Echoing Aces don't really do enough against Shaman. I mean, against Handlock. They just die to the AoE. Whereas something like the Creeper or the Shade is a little more threatening.
Sure.
And of course the Rock the Doomhammer is just a little bit better than the Bloodlust.
Well, Chakki has to spend some of his removal here.
It's going okay. It's going for it.
Interesting. Well, this is basically defeat because his opponent can still just punch through it with what's on board here.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chakki really knew that it was a very slim chance for him to win from this position, especially since Pinpingho had more than where that came from with Jiraxis and pretty good quality cards. We're going to start off with a 1-0 lead for Pinpingho, and once again, Handlock proving to be a pretty strong deck.
Yeah. We saw how Ping Ping's his Shaman barely beat Reynad's Handlock, and I think Chakki's deck is just a little weaker in that matchup, so it's going to lose just barely.
Okay. Generally speaking,
Yeah.
He did have a chance. There was a few moments where maybe he was able to set something up, but now we turn into game number 2, which was it was Druid, I believe, versus Hunter.
Yeah. I remember, I liked all of Chakki's matchups, but I guess the Shaman fell short just a little bit, but I think Chakki's still going to, in this phase, the Hunter versus
Oh,
Shaman.
sorry, Shaman
So I
versus
think
the
Chakki's
Hunter.
favored, and then Warlock versus Druid, Chakki's favored again.
All right, well, maybe they give him a little edge. Maybe it doesn't, though. I feel like Ping Ping's playing pretty well. I haven't seen him make egregious errors by any means.
Yeah, Shaman can definitely beat Hunter. I like Hunter a little bit better. Or wait, did we see Wolf Riders in? Yeah, well, he's playing the Wolf Rider deck, which actually is not that good against Shaman. Wolf Rider is very vulnerable to, like, it can't really punch through Taunt Totem, Argus on anything.
Yeah. If they Feral
Wolf Rider.
Spirit, you spend your entire turn removing half of a card.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
An Explosive Trap is, like, sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's just not, everything has 3 HP. But we see Double Undertaker, which is great.
Double Undertaker can be really powerful, but if he doesn't get any death rattles, okay.
Ping Ping really wanted, like, his Zombie Chows. He tossed back 2 Lightning Storms. Or he wants Earth Shocks as well. Earth Shocks would be great. So it looks like, oh, Chakki's got it all. He's got the great start into the time main right on 6 when Ping Ping will be, like, out of cards. I guess not out of cards because he can't even spend his cards, but he's going to be so far behind.
Yeah, this looks potentially like a blowout if he's able to pick up another death rattle by next turn.
Yeah, what can Ping Ping do? He needs just to top deck, like, 4 Earth Shocks in a row, I think.
Yeah, well, we can start with 1.
Okay.
All right.
That's not bad. That's actually pretty
removal.
good. Oh, I thought he would break the spider. I guess not. If he had the Flame Tongue, then that would be insane, but...
Yeah, but then he doesn't.
No,
he can't
this
kill
makes more
off
sense.
his-
Yeah, he kills off 2 things. Okay, so is he gonna be forced to hex that?
LOL. Young Dragonhawk.
Nice. Now, does he want to play the Dragonhawk before the next Juggler, or does he
Right.
just not care? I think he.
Well, if he knocks the spider out, then he has to attack with
Yeah, he's forced to
Undertaker on
attack.
one of them. And then what his opponent does on turn 3, that's a weak lightning storm. That's that can clear everything. That's also Feral Spears that softens up everything.
I'm just gonna go for it. So if the knife hits the spider, okay, so it didn't hit,
Right.
so it'll probably just go face. Yeah. So he gets the extra damage.
Ooh, it's not so bad either. I mean, anything to just stall for time, right? That's what you
Yeah.
need to do against the hunter. I don't mind that at all.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Let's kill the knife juggler probably.
Yeah, you think the knife juggler is a bigger threat? Probably
Yeah,
is.
You can always just hex the Undertaker if it gets too crazy.
Yes. That's why I run Hex in my Shaman decks.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I
mean-
don't think hexing now would make anything, and so I think Flame Tongue
Actually-
makes the most sense.
No, he could kill the Dragonhawk and hex the knife juggler, and then next turn he can flame tongue and totem. It's a little more mana efficient. But yeah, that's what he's thinking about. I wouldn't have minded seeing that. So we'll probably see. He could just kill the flame tongue and then one of the spiders if he wants.
Oh yeah, actually the young Dragonhawk being somewhat useful here.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to leave the flame tongue up because you never know when like a feral spirit or an Argus is gonna follow up, or just even a taunt totem. But kill command is. Is kill command good?
Kill command allows
not
you
really.
to clear the board, but that's about it. You still don't have a turn 5 play either.
Yeah. You really. But he should be able to play anything because he has the 2 Savannas as the only 6 cost, so he should be able to play whatever he draws.
It's true. Well, unless he draws his
Yeah, but kill command really didn't
like second
accomplish.
kill command.
Yeah, it didn't accomplish anything this turn. Anyway. It's the
Right.
same clear. I mean, yeah, 1 spider. Who cares?
Unless it's a second Flame Tongue that allows him to trade, in which case that
Oh.
would have been nasty. Well, now it's Temptation time, where you can actually seize the board.
Oh.
Hex on the Undertaker. I mean,
Well, it's because if you look at his next turns, he wants to spend all his mana.
exactly. When are you going to get a chance to Hex in the future? It makes a lot of sense, and Pinpingho is going to take a board lead.
Nice. Really gonna get punished by the Savannas, but
Well, he still has time to draw into Hex and then maybe leverage the board,
yeah.
so he's stronger against it.
So the Azure Drake. He need Azure Drake and then like Air Totem Earthshock, and then he'd kill the Savannah really easily. Lightning Storm's not good enough.
Not at all, but you know, the Azure Drake can dig a little bit deeper to maybe find an answer to tackling on this high main, and it's not the most secure thing. Now that an Azure Drake's out there, it seems like it's easy to start removing things. But yeah, it's really tough. Oh man, and he's already at 19 HP. It's not exactly like he's floating at the highest bits.
Okay, Defender stops the Savannah hit at least. Probably just Totem Defender rather than Zombie.
Zombie puts out slightly better stats, especially if you crash. Because now well, it makes it really difficult for a hunter to pass through. Wow. That takes a lot of balls to do to a high main. Especially because he has Kill Command, Hunter's Mark, lots of ways to punish this.
If he bows, he Savannahs him down to 13.
I mean, you're trading the first swing of the bow essentially for 3
Yeah,
more
I think you
damage.
just Mad Scientist Hero Power. Oh,
You think so? I like doing the damage here with the high main. It's like he's proven that he couldn't take care of the high main. If
That's
if
true.
you lower its health,
then it could die to Earthshock.
yeah. Yeah, I sip on that Snapple, Chakki. Oh, he finally gets Hex. But there's bad news because there's more where
yeah.
that came from.
Yeah, when you attacks and you don't develop them. It's so painful.
Now it's getting to the point where it's so scary because you can play high main number 2 and start doing something else. Like you can play high main and hero power. Or even mad scientist. Like it's starting to get to the point where like you're starting to take hero power damage every turn and you just have a very finite clock with how much you have to work with.
Yeah, and that mad scientist is. Without the Earth Shock, I was gonna say it's like a leper gnome. It's like guaranteed 2 with the explosive trap. It looks like it's gonna be Earth Shocked here, maybe. Actually, no, he just fire elementals. So that's Savannah 6, hero power 8, and then the explosive trap is 10. So he has to do 3 more damage, which is gonna be pretty easy to do.
And Pinpingho recognizes this, so he's gonna try to race.
Yeah, smart move.
Even if he draws Rockbiter, though, he'd be short damage.
Well, maybe he thinks the Alakir taunt is gonna buy him a turn.
Perhaps. I mean, I think that's his best course of action
Yeah.
by a fair margin. Okay, 8, 10, 12 damage right now. He's 1 off from killing his opponent. So close for Chakki.
Yeah, he's got a ton of burst in hand. Okay. What's going on there?
Yeah, put Shaman on a must-win situation. He has to win next turn, or it's bust. And I think it's bust. There's no way he could have drawn 13 more points of damage from 1 card.
If Pinpingho is really paying attention, I was gonna say he could figure out that Chakki only runs explosive trap by that move.
Oh, so you play Doomhammer, and you kill off a scientist. You play Doomhammer, try to find out what trap he's playing.
Yeah. I was playing a game once, and I only ran Snake Trap, and I had the trap active and a mad scientist, and my opponent could have figured out that that was the only trap I ran, but he just conceded.
Well, the way to do it would be to kill it off and play Alakir, right?
Yeah.
Or
There's a few ways, yeah. I think Doomhammer works.
well, the thing about Doomhammer is if you attack face, you can't tell if it's treating trap or.
But he had the creature on board, he could have thrown it in.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. You attack the creature. Oh, okay. Well, there's interesting ways to get information for the future of the series, but he also withholds information too, right? He's showing
The Doomhammer, yeah.
Yeah. Versus Chakki knows it's a possibility. He doesn't have it. So that goes 1-1, right? It's tied up. And now we go to Zoo versus Druid. Now this matchup is very hard for Druid, in my opinion.
It's super hard. The Druid can innervate Keeper like a Knife Juggler and still lose the game pretty. Like when I innervate Keeper, their Knife Juggler, I still feel like I'm only 45% chance to win that game.
Wow.
Yeah.
It used to be like Innervate Keeper could potentially win, but I think with all the death rattles making swipe a lot worse, with all the ways that they can add on to like a strong board with death rattles and Haunted Creepers are hard to remove, it just becomes really difficult for Druid to keep up with Zoo's pace.
But actually, wasn't Ping Ping the one with the Echoing Ooze and the Creeper? Those really help against Zoo.
Yeah.
That's how, if we remember Kalento, like innervating like Ooze Creeper or something against Trump, and he had like
Savage
6. Yeah, it was crazy. So that actually, the Oozes actually help a lot, but they're still a little weak with the 1-2. They don't quite line up enough. Sometimes they do though. It'll kill like an unbuffed Undertaker.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was in VGVN, I believe. And what happened was I think he innervated out 2 Oozes and then had a Haunted Creeper, and then on turn 3, that was crazy. He did like 22 damage or something, and then like the final card he drew was like Swipe or something like that. Like just the last pieces of damage. It was really funny.
Yeah, and just the fact that the Ooze is like a 2 mana, so you can like, if you draw it later, you'll be able to fit it into your curve. Whereas the Druid against the Zoo usually are just like Yeti, Druid of the Claw, and they just get soul fired and doom guarded, and you're just behind.
All right. Well, I believe we're ready for game number 3, which is the Druid versus the Warlock. Either of these guys winning this would be in a big advantage going into game 4 and 5 for the blind pick. Hope you guys have been enjoying the format, by the way. Let us know on social media at ESL Hearthstone on Twitter, as well as all the socials. So give us some feedback on how you guys have been enjoying it. You like it so far, Hyped?
Like I said, I hate when it's just one person wins, the other person counters, the other person counters. I hate that. So that's why I like this better.
Okay. All right. Well, Hyped is one of the better ladder players, so maybe
Yeah.
some other tournament experienced players might argue against it. But
And like you said, it keeps the decks more honest. So people have these streamlined tournament decks for countering, but when you go into a format like this, you have to have someone like Chakki who's like, okay, I have to make my deck a little bit better against his counters, and I have to tweak things, and I like that a lot.
this is assuming 1 or 2 decks isn't dominating everything.
Yeah.
But even so, then you can have things like you pointed out. One thing that was really interesting that you said was Pinping not having Hunter might actually hurt Chakki's deck building because
Yeah.
he built stuff specifically good against Hunter, and Pinping doesn't even have it.
High risk, high reward on the Knife Juggler coin, but there's no other choice really. You're not
Right.
really gonna just Voidwalker.
This is a blowout potential as well.
So he's got the Wrath, but then he's gonna follow up with another Knife Juggler. Okay. Okay. Oh, so if Pinping gets his Ooze with Argus is really huge.
That's really massive. It's
Other-
like your own Feral Spirits.
Yeah. Otherwise, the Argus though is pretty mana inefficient against Zoo. It's pretty hard to use.
Yeah. But the good news is that if he doesn't pick up Ooze, he still has a fallback. Savage Roar here just to kill off the Knife Juggler I think is appropriate as well.
You don't really want to innervate a lore against Zoo. Kind of weak. Unless you pick up a second innervate with the draw, then it's worth it.
I mean, I want to remove this Knife Juggler so bad. Developing the Shaded Naxxramas makes sense mana curve-wise, but it just takes 2 stupid 1-drop minions to snipe it.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh god, I can't believe I fell so far behind.
Yeah. I like Shade better.
You like Shade?
Because Roar is like one of your biggest tools against Zoo. It's like they keep tapping, they leave a minion up,
Okay.
and then you combo them.
I just feel like it's like the same thing as the coin Knife Juggler. It's a high risk, high reward in this scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Shade better. But like we said, the Druid is not favored, so the Druid should be the one taking risks.
Sure, makes sense to me. Okay, one juggle goes to the Shade, and the second one. Oh
I wouldn't-
no!
I wouldn't be sad. If I was the Druid player, I'd be like, I needed to take that risk to win. It didn't work out.
Oh well, you know what? That Keeper of the Grove is one of the best draws you could have asked for here.
Yeah, it's getting soul fired though. Actually, no, at the cost of a Doomguard though, so it's probably just Dark Iron trade here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. So
Dark-
Soulfire's probably not even getting cast this game. Probably just Loatheb right into Doomguard, unless he gets a great target. No, because he can just kill this lore so easily. He can actually ignore the lore. Oh, it looks like we're getting a taunt.
If you taunt, you can also put it in charge and then innervate a hero power to start to pick
Not
up some
bad.
traits.
Not bad.
Because the problem with putting in taunt, I'm always afraid of, is easy removal for something really basic. Power overwhelming on the Dire Wolf, and then it's like, well, I actually just lost that. So it really depends on how Pinping chooses to approach it, though.
I think I like the Innervate hero power, like you said. That's a pretty good move.
Yeah, I like collecting the immediate value. Plus, even if he had Soulfire, you picked up
Yeah, 4-2.
the same effect.
Not a good Soulfire.
But Loatheb's pretty devastating, honestly.
Yeah. So, well, he can Soulfire and then just play whatever 5-drops left.
Oh, that
But
is
at the
a
same time, the
possibility
Druid
as
is very
well.
low on cards, so he could just outcard the Druid too. Okay.
Oh, Chakki
Oh my
swag.
gosh.
Soulfire and keeps
Wow.
Doomguard. That's lights out. I don't even understand how Druid can come back from this position.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, like I said, if I was the Zoo player, I'd feel favored and I wouldn't feel like I needed to take any risks. But I guess that was pretty low risk because the Defender would have been a great follow-up anyways.
That's true. 6-6 and a 5-5. Let's see. That's 14 damage coming the other way.
Yeah. Ouch.
Chakki's 2 turns from killing off his opponent here in Game 3. And
Oh,
what do you know?
and he
picks
curves
up,
out.
curves out perfectly. Well, I don't know what Pinping can do. He can stall for more time. No, he can't. A heal with the Ancient of Lore still means he dies.
How much does Poison Seed cost?
Poison Seeds, I
4?
think 4 mana.
No one uses that card. Who knows? It's not
Well,
even-
maybe with Goblins versus Gnomes, you play Poison Seeds and Explosive Sheep.
It would be Pyromancer. Well, he has none of these cards, but yeah. Oh, Explosive Sheep, yeah.
Yeah. So if you use the Explosive Sheep is the 1 mana do 2 damage AoE. So
It just if it lives a turn or just when it dies.
when it dies.
Oh, so you just okay.
So you like play the Explosive Sheep, and then if you're really desperate, you Wrath it for 1 and you draw a card.
Nice.
There you go, and that's only 7 mana.
Nice. Oh, so Druid finally has a way to like board clear.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Well, it's good because I think Poison Seed's actually like the second worst card that came out of Next Rammus out of the 30. The worst has to be the Stone Skin Gargoyle.
Yeah.
one.
The Rogue one is pretty bad, but
I can
Oh, that's true. I actually have never seen the Ambusher before.
yeah.
Well, that was a quick game 3. Druid will still have to wait for Explosive Sheep to handle off Zoo, and that's going to come in Goblins versus Gnomes. In the meantime, Chakki's going to be up 2-1, and now is going to be 1 game away from grabbing first place and 80 ESL points.
Nice.
Man, don't you wish you had
Yeah,
80
definitely.
ESL points?
I don't know what I do with that many points though. It's too many.
Probably start giving some away. Yeah.
Now they're all for me.
Well, going into Game 4, this is the blind picks stage. Taking a look at their lineups overall, what are we feeling here?
Okay. Chakki's Zoo is good against the Shaman. Oh, it's good enough against Shaman.
And the Druid.
It's good against the Druid.
What about Handlock?
Handlock, that's slightly favored to Handlock, especially when you know going to the Mulligan. Ping has his...
Shaman, Druid, and his Handlock.
Wow. Oh, this is interesting because there's no clear... There's like always... Everything can get countered. Like the Handlock can get countered by the Hunter, the Druid can get countered by the Warlock, and the Shaman can get countered by the Hunter.
So there's no safe matchup.
No safe matchup for Ping. Let's see. From Chakki's side, Zoo is safe. Hunter's all right. I'd pick Hunter if I was Chakki. Although, what did he lose to Hunter? He lost. No, he won with
No,
Hunter.
he won against the Shaman
Okay.
matchup.
Hunter's a pretty good pick for Chakki. Like I said, I think Chakki's decks has the better lineup against Ping. So Ping's going to need to pull it out with and Shaman can sometimes like work magic in these situations where it's like it seems weak but it just sweeps.
Yeah, because it just has like a lot of versatility in how it can adapt to situations. So sometimes it just wins,
Yeah.
so to speak, or in some cases $100,000 as well in China.
Yeah.
Going into game number 4, though, if you pick Shaman and you run into like Hunter or Zoo, though, I mean,
I keep forgetting Chakki has like I think he's doing the Wolf Rider Zoo, which is actually I don't know. He played 2 Savannas. Did he web spinner that game too?
yeah, he had Whisper.
The one we just watched though. Okay.
Because remember he had Undertaker web
right.
spinner, so that's what it is. I think it's going to be the Zoo versus the Shaman though, based off of what we saw on the overlay. So it looks like that's what they're leaning towards, and I
Okay.
think
So he has the Yeti, which is I would
Yeah.
say this Yeti is bad against Zoo.
it's
Doesn't
too
do anything.
slow.
The Gnomish does the same thing, and you get a free card. Shade is bad too.
Well, he's got
Zombie
Zombie
Chow's
Chow.
good though. Zombie Chow's good. And the Shade at least is gonna like guarantee an Argus target at some point.
Well, he's got Zombie Chow, and he's got a way to shut down this Leper Gnome. Oh, but he opts to save it because he wants to keep the coin for his Shade of Next Rammus. But that's not going to pay off.
Yeah, that's fine. I would
Done the same.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Nice coin Shade and just go for a huge taunt. Hope he doesn't get the owl. Or just totem. No, I think you coin Shade.
They can't do anything to Shade of Next Rammus, right?
Well, if he brings it out with taunt, you could get owled. I mean, it's not that dangerous, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, if he gets a huge taunt.
Gotcha. But I think
Actually,
what's really
Voidwalker is what you can do to Shade, because now the Shade is like useless with those Voidwalkers.
Oh, that's true. What I do like about Shade, though, it is another 2-for-1, which is what Shaman needs. It needs all their cards to get like better value, so that way Life Tap doesn't chase you out of the game.
Yeah, and what I love about Shade is it's great in AoE classes because you AoE and then you have something on the board. So when he Lightning Storms, he's still going to have board presence. Which Shaman, something that Shaman doesn't struggle with because Lightning Storm is so cheap. So he's going to be able to Lightning Storm, full clear, and have board presence.
Sure, makes sense to me.
Already taking out, but it was great time too. Oh, great synergy with the Feral Spirits too.
All right, Chakki has the Shattered Sun Cleric, another card that's been teched in. Wonder how he's going to go about this turn, though.
It's not clean. But, I think he's going to be able to use that Direwolf buff on the Spectral Spiders next turn. Maybe not. But he'll play the Voidwalker to the right of the stock, probably.
Right.
Or to the left, either way, it's fine.
Well, I guess he's gonna eventually trade at it anyways, so seems like he needs that power on the spiders a little bit more than he needs the power on the Shattered Sun Cleric anyways.
Well, he can zap the dog and then shade into the Voidwalker. But the shade will still die to the spiders, but he has to clear them at some point, right?
No, that is a good point. And otherwise, any other trade is really poor. You can't get away with just like leaving anything up, or even toteming. So it makes sense to me. I think Pinpingho has to spend this time removing. It's all about making sure to minimize damage, though. So you Earthshock the Direwolf Alpha, and then you Lightning Bolt the Shattered Sun Cleric.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, if you do that this way, then
Yeah.
then you get a full board clear. Oh,
Saving the
interesting.
bolt. Doesn't
Yeah.
want to deal with the overload right now.
Sure.
It'll be a messy turn 4 anyways.
In case he picks up Azure Drake.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Plus, yeah, the dog was gonna, who basically would have been bolting a spider and getting 2 extra damage on face, which isn't worth it.
Well, Harvest Golem is a pretty solid drop overall. It's strong enough to always take out whatever totems remain. Plus, it's a great body to get a defender. And look what Pinpingho is rewarded based off of his planning. He gets an Azure Drake.
Yeah. Of course, super weak to Soulfire. I was gonna say Chakki is super low on cards, but he's gonna get tempo back here and he's gonna be able to free tap from here on out.
Unless he gets Soulfire number 2.
Oh,
That's always a scary
Perfect.
moment. So, no tap this turn.
yeah, he would have preferred a 3-drop, I think. But
Yeah.
it's okay.
But 4 health is also important, so that
Oh,
way
yeah.
he's resilient against Lightning Storm or Fire Elemental, so he doesn't get sniped. This is where you're talking about, Hyped. That Yeti.
Actually, it's not. We'll see if he top decks like the.
It's easy to buff something just for a little bit to trade it off, though. Like, if you get the Abusive Sergeant, it's like you just use all the small little
Yeah.
creatures to push through.
Doesn't say Abusive Sergeant. Okay, I'm fine with this. Ping's really just waiting for that Storm or something. Or that Argus turn.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. I think that's gonna seal
That
it.
feels like a point of no return here. Now, it's all about how Chakki wants to trade down the rest of this board. You can kill off that Yeti. Or you can just rush your opponent down. And I like it. He's going down to 8 health if you do this. Alright. Fair enough. Still kind of weak to Lightning Storm, but he should have had it already if he was, or should have played it already if he had it.
Oh look, the Yeti would have rock bitered that Doom card if he didn't trade. Oh man, super weak. And he doesn't even want a Lightning Bolt because he wanted our Alakir next turn.
I don't know if he has a choice.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice now.
He has to taunt up, right? And Lightning Bolt.
That is not good.
No, and I think that should be the writing on the wall here. As soon as you shoot this
I think
down.
you rock biter and just take the damage, or would he be dead? Probably.
Oh, yeah,
He'd be at 8.
could be right. No, he's just
Yeah, he
way
would've
too
been
much
dead. He
damage.
would've been dead.
Right. Oh, is he dead anyways with this soul
Yeah.
fire? 3. That's 10. No, he's still a little short. But he can tap into something.
Now, sometimes in this situation... Oh, no, he's probably just going to Soulfire Face. And then he can get, like, an Owl
Right.
or just a buffer.
Another juggle with
Yeah.
another juggle with Undertaker.
Yeah, so he does it first. That way it's
Oh,
less chance on the Argus.
man.
Yeah.
That was a good juggle, too. And that's going to do it exactly. Chakki is going to take this series and the top 8 finish in first place. Well done, and looks like he's going to put himself out there as one of the premier free agents currently there in Hearthstone circuit.
Yeah, great lineup in that finals, but even so, just his decks were great in the whole tournament, and we thought he'd be a little weak because he teched against Hunter, and there's no Hunter, but he still had a great lineup against Pinpingho.
Yeah, you know, overall, I liked a lot of the choices of flavor he made. A little of a shame that we didn't get to see the Shaman in more games, 'cause I thought that was the coolest deck. Just because I liked the Pyromancer, the Bloodlust.
Yeah.
That was some really cool stuff.
We saw Bloodlust kind of whiffing, though, like it usually does. It's usually just a little too weak.
No, but it's like it's the victory cigar. You
Okay.
just have Bloodlust in your deck, and it's like, oh, you lost to a Bloodlust Shaman.
Nice.
Well, Chakki's gonna win the 80 ESL points, but don't worry, Pinpingho will also be back next week, or at least he has the invite to. Hopefully, he'll be able to make it, and he has also earned himself a fair chunk of points as well. I believe it's 35, and that's gonna all count towards the offline finals that'll be happening in February. If we can take a look at the format before we wrap up the day. Anyone who's just kind of tuned in and confused about what this is all about, it's a 12-week long format where we have players invited every single week, but a couple people who qualify as well. If you're watching this broadcast and you say you want to compete tomorrow on Sunday at 3 p.m. or 1500 Pacific Standard Time, you can also compete in the completely open cup. Just go to esl.gg/legendary series and get more information. It's all over the Twitch page, but if you're watching via iPad or mobile app, definitely sign up. Weeks 5 through 8, the person who wins it also gets a direct seed to the finals, so that way we don't favor people who just get early invites and snowball the points, so you have a chance. Most likely hype, you'll probably be playing one of those weeks, hopefully as well. And then, of course, the top 4 standings get a spot as well here in Burbank, California sometime in February. More information, once again, at esl.gg/legendary series. Thanks for coming out, man, for casting with me today. It's been a pleasure. Do you have any thoughts on today, how it went?
It was really fun, and I do like the format. It still could use some improvement, but I like it a lot better than, like I said, the last Hero Standing. I'm getting sick of that, and it's not that I like this better. I just like variety of tournament formats. It spices it up. It gives you more reasons to deck build while we don't have new cards. So when we get new cards, we'll be deck building, and then once that gets filled, it'll be deck building for different tournament formats, which I really love.
That's right. When Goblins vs. Gnomes goes live, we'll be adapting it immediately on our patch for the tournament play, which will be fun. Again, if you guys want to compete, go and sign up for tomorrow's cup, and hopefully we'll be able to see you guys there. We also want to give a shout out to Newegg, Crucial, and Western Digital for making this all possible. Go to newegg.com and get all kinds of cool deals on storage and memory devices through Crucial or Western Digital. They're the ones making it happen. Also, a big shout out to the ESL production crew for making this week possible. They're doing a great job. Thank you so much to all of our crew people. Thank you to Hyped for coming out and casting. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week for week 2 of the Legendary Series. Have a good night.
Later.